Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the corner and welcome to your post-match reaction. Manchester City won, Chelsea won. Honestly, I'm shocked at the result because prior to the game, it felt like you're looking at our lineup, some notable absentees, no Robert Sanchez, no Wesley Fofana, no Cucurella, no Caicedo. When you look at that and then you look at the Manchester City lineup, I was absolutely scared, shaking. My legs were shaking. And the fact that we finished the game 1-1, I can only be proud of the team to a certain level. Look, obviously, not going to sit here and celebrate this, that, the other. It's a draw, but under the circumstances of what has happened for the past few days, I honestly felt, how are the players going to react? Are they going to be dejected? And on top of that, with the players that were missing, and with the lineup that Manchester City had, it was a humongous task. It was a huge task. And even till now, after the match is finished, I'm still baffled as to how we made it 1-1, because Manchester City, look, don't get me wrong, the start of the first half, up until 30 minutes, it was quite compact, actually. We done well. And kudos to Callum McFarlane, the interim manager for the time being, under-21s manager. And you could see how delighted he was post-match, jumping up and down when we equalized. And big up to him for being able to do that. That's going to mean a lot. And it's going to mean a lot to the players. To be honest, we were set up nicely. For the first 30 minutes, we were set up nicely. We were compact, defended well. We had a clear philosophy as to what we want to do, which was counter-attack. The problem was we never saw the ball that much. Whenever we did counter, we didn't do much about it. But the final probably 10 to 15 minutes, it was all Manchester City. And honestly, they probably should have had, excuse me, 2-3 goals at halftime. Erling Haaland's chance, that was a mad opportunity, how it hit the post. I think there was another header from Erling Haaland. There was a chance from Bernardo Silva as well. But eventually enough, they got the goal from Reinders. And going in at halftime at 1-0, I think most of the fan base were shocked. How is this only 1-0? And it still just somehow kept us in the game. The only thing I'll say in the first half was, we probably should have started with Andre Santos. That was the first thing I said. Why are we not playing with an extra midfield? Reece James, Enzo Fernandez need another body in midfield, because it's going to be very difficult to combat, Manchester City through that middle of the park. And luckily enough, in the second half, we made that change. Estevan Willian was taken off. Look, I wasn't too upset about the fact that Estevan Willian was taken off, because our attackers, we weren't seeing the ball at all anyway. Estevan Willian was spending a lot of time defending. And if you're going to spend a lot of time defending, you might as well have a player that is able to defend. So I was very much in favor of Andre Santos coming on. Now, a lot of people have been saying, why was Neto not taken off and Estevan Willian staying on? Or why wasn't Palmer taken off and Estevan Willian staying on? I understand that. But nonetheless, I think Pedro Neto, well, we're going to talk about an absolute stinker. But I think the reason why Pedro Neto stayed on is because of his work rate. And Cole Palmer, because he's Cole Palmer, he's able to do things out of nowhere. Even though he didn't, he dropped a stinker as well. But yeah, look, change of setup in the second half. It almost looked like we were playing for Liam Rossignol, the way Liam Rossignol would like to play. Generally, three at the back, three midfielders operating in the likes of Reece James, Enzo Fernandez, and Andre Santos. Enzo Fernandez is the one who was bombing forward a lot more. But you could see that it was wing-back play with Pedro Neto on the left and Malo Gusto on the right. It really did look like it was Liam Rossignol. And then we actually had a really good second half. I thought we had a really good second half, but there were moments I felt like, oh man, we are doomed. We are finito, because there was a lot of passes that was going astray. There was a lot of, play that lacked communication within the players. And I was just worried that this team, are we just going to throw away the season? Are we going to be so dejected off the back of Enzo Maresca leaving the football club? But big up to the players, just kept on fighting. And in the second half, Pedro Neto had a big chance, huge chance to level things up a long time ago. But The equalizer came right at the end, just before the match finished, probably 2-3 minutes before the match finished. And big up to Enzo Fernandez. Big up to Enzo Fernandez for getting that goal. He was one of the standout players. He really was one of the standout players all throughout this game. Another standout player was Malo Gusto. I believe it was his cross that reached Enzo Fernandez right at the end. And look, I don't care. I don't care one bit whether I've said it, prior to the match, and that was a bit of tongue in cheek that Arsenal are going to win the Premier League title this weekend. And I don't care. Even if City beat us today 1-0, City don't look as formidable as Arsenal, man. They just don't. City, they look flimsy in defense. The amount of counter-attacks that City conceded in this game, it was incredible. It was incredible. They should have finished us off. But overall, even if City beat us, I don't think City would have won this Premier League, man. I think there's a clear winner, and that is Arsenal Football Club. So we pick up a point. This point means a lot to us. This point might not mean too much to Manchester City, but it means a lot to us, and I'll tell you why. Had we had been bashed, had we had been absolutely mauled, 4s or 5s, 4-0s, 5-0s, then I think a lot of the players would have down tools, and a lot of the players' mentality would have been damaged. As flimsy as our mentality has been, it would have been absolutely damaged and ripped up. The fact that we finished the match 1-1 hopefully gives us belief, hopefully gives the players belief. Hopefully we can now forget about all the nonsense that has happened in regards to Enzo Maresca and the way he parted ways. Hopefully we can let that go. Look, I know overall with this ownership, what hope do we really have? What hope do we really have? But all I can say is hopefully the players make something out of this season. Please try and get at least Champions League football now. That's all I'm saying. We can't get anything else. The league, competing for the league and all of this other stuff that I was sprouting, that's well and truly gone. Just try and get Champions League football. Manage to get that 4th, 5th position. And I hope this result will mean something. Backs against our wall. Manager parting ways. Our ownership doing all of those nonsense shenanigans in the background. The players we're getting linked with. The lack of quality sometimes we tend to have. The lack of players we had in this game. The absenteeism. 4 starters weren't playing. So I have to, take my hat off to the team, the rest of the team that was playing, and hopefully this builds a belief. Hopefully this builds a belief. Look, going from the back, Jurgensen I thought was overall okay. The goal he conceded near post should have done better. I think Achapong had a very good game overall. Look, there were parts where it wasn't good. There were parts that were good, but you're going to get that with a young player. That's what you're going to get. A classic example was, I think he gives away the ball to Erling Haaland, and then he chases Erling Haaland down and wins the ball back. That was sometime, I think, in the second half. Chalobah and Buddy Shul overall defended well. There were times they were opened up as well. Buddy Shul was guilty for the first goal, along with Achapong, along with Jurgensen. I thought Jorel Hato came on in the second half, did okay as well. We need to believe in this team. We need to believe in the players that have come off the bench, that they can do a job. But having said that as well, players like Liam Delap coming off the bench, absolute stinker, man. Absolute stinker. I'm starting to think, what did I really see with Liam Delap? Because this guy, and what he did with Kusanov as well, that was wrong. More yellow cards than goal contributions, man, this player. He got absolutely done by Kusanov and picks up a yellow card because he shoved him onto the sideboard. That's all he seems to be doing, and that's all he seems to be good at. Pedro Neto, look, that was a royal stinker. Every attack was destroyed by Pedro Neto. Every attack was destroyed. And I don't expect that from a player that has been in the Premier League for so long. That type of, overall quality is not a good example for the rest of the team. So Pedro Neto, for me, very, very poor. Cole Palmer as well looked like most of the game he wasn't interested. Didn't seem to have any impact in the game. And that was bad. These are the matches that you feel, Cole Palmer, I need you to rise. I need you to get up and, grab the team and put him on your back and take the team with you. But Cole Palmer didn't do that. Reece James, I thought overall in midfield was good, but every now and then was picking up some silly fouls here and there. I was worried that he was going to end up getting a red card. As I said, Malo Gusto had a really good game. Enzo Fernandez probably was my man of the match. João Pedro, some things good, some things bad. The biggest problem with João Pedro is he needs to release the ball as quickly as possible. So look, overall, I guess I'm somewhat relieved that we didn't get spanked. At the same time, I'm somewhat proud of this team that you've put up some form of a fight. You've salvaged something from this game that looked like we weren't going to get anything. And you somewhat gave me a belief that maybe you're ready to fight. Maybe you're not ready to throw the white towel in. You're not ready to surrender for the rest of this Premier League season. And maybe you want to fight to at least get Champions League football. That's all I can say, ladies and gentlemen. Kudos to Callum McFarlane. Now we await Liam Rossignol to take over and stabilize the ship a little bit, man, because right now it's very topsy-turvy. It's very topsy-turvy. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts. Did we deserve a draw? Probably didn't, but at the end of the day, we salvaged something. We salvaged a point out of it, and that hopefully will go a long way. Right now, the focus is just get Champions League football again next season. Smash up the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, take care. See ya. Bye.